We're back. Okay, so we're really excited about this video, which is why we're laughing. But hey everyone, it's Nicole Mitchell, and I have a very special guest with us, my beloved spouse and partner, John Mitchell. Hey.
Hey.
So this was actually a video we wanted to do months ago when I first came out publicly and like have a chance for him to answer some common questions we get, and then we just forgot. I don't know, life just got in the way. And I recently did a podcast, and the guy who was doing the podcast has never met John. And he's like, "Are you sure John exists? Because he sounds too good to be true, because John is so amazing."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, it's about time we do a video, introduce John to the world, give him a chance to speak, since I do all the speaking and writing on my website, and answer some of your guys' common questions.
I do exist, and I am as good as she says, I guess.
It's true. He's freaking amazing. Okay, so the first broad question is, what's it like being married to a queer person?
So
no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure or anything, because you're sitting right here, right? It's by and large the same as it was before she came out to me and to the community as well. I would say, being her intimate partner and spouse, I mean, she's more comfortable. She's more like at ease in her own skin. Like, she's more herself. So I've seen like just a tremendous amount of benefit from that. She's really positive and just more free to be herself.
Yeah.
So I don't know, there's not that much. I mean, she has, we have kind of a different community now, I would say. So that's a pretty significant impact, but by and large, it's really, really the same, except that this additional, deeper, more intimate part of her identity has, been shared with everyone, shared widely. And now that that's known, I don't know, she's more free to be herself, and that's really peaceful and really life-giving. So yeah, that's what I would say about that,
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think sometimes people expect like a drastic answer, like, "Oh my God, it's so different." And when John and I were discussing this before we made the video, that was his comment. He's like, "Not much has changed. Like, it's, if anything, I think we have deeper conversations. We're more honest. We connect more." And yeah, we like have this kind of shift in our community. I spent more time with the LGBTQ community, more time in queer spaces. And so that's been kind of a change. But like by and large, our marriage has only gotten better.
Yeah, I mean, the marriage has only deepened and gotten better. I mean, probably the most significant change is how people treat us or treat her because of this new information that's out there.
That's true.
That's probably the biggest shift, and obviously to be expected, right? The biggest change, and how we deal with that, how we work through that. I mean, that's brought us closer together. How we, where we draw boundary lines between what people can say or what we're comfortable talking about with them, because a lot of stuff is just kind of off limits for people who aren't in this relationship, right? So, so yeah, that's an additional big piece of it. But yeah, as far as our relationship goes, it's only deepened and I don't know, just gotten better. So
that's great.
It's all good.
Good answer, babe.
Yeah.
I think even a bigger question I was thinking as we were kind of preparing our Q&A, and the question I think that people think often is, what's it like being married to someone who just kind of shares it all for the world to know on my website or on my YouTube channel? What's that like for you?
Yeah, I think at first it was kind of eye-opening, because she had a big speaking gig at a church that we were a part of. This was a few years ago, and she shared some personal stuff about our story and our background and my own background as well. That was a pretty eye-opening and vulnerable thing, but it wasn't anything that we weren't really comfortable with. Also, when she is sharing stuff on her blog or on her vlog, she's always asking if she feels like it's something that might raise a flag with me. She always asks my feedback, and so I appreciate that, obviously. So I really trust her her discernment there on what's appropriate to share and what's not. And so yeah, I mean, there's nothing that she shared that I've been like, oh, somebody, this is too deep for somebody to know or something like that. It's not, we haven't had to deal with anything like that. So, at least at first it was kind of like, oh, this is a little different and a new thing just to have out there because I'm a pretty private person, I think. But overall, not a big deal. NBD.
Yeah, I think like you were saying, like we were talking about this before, that it's new in the sense of like it's pretty vulnerable, but that you're also not uptight, right? Like you said, NBD, because he's so cool. And I really value John's opinions, and for almost all my writing, I ask him to read it, even if it has nothing to do with him, because I love having someone to bounce off my content with, and he might bring up some different points I might have missed, and then just gives us some great discussions, because my writing is really getting to the depths of my soul, and so we have some really great conversations around some of my drafts I create and want to process with him before I publish, or whether or not I should publish it.
She doesn't like my grammar feedback.
That is true.
I'm like, you need a comma here.
Oh, I hate it.
You have a run-on sentence here, so you need a comma with a conjunction.
Oh my gosh.
And she hates that.
I hate it. I'm like, give me your idea feedback. Do not point out my grammar.
So a couple of times I've just kind of changed some stuff there, like grammar wise.
I can tell when you do that. And it makes me so mad because here's the thing. This is part of my niche niche.
Sure.
In whatever in the world where I am first a speaker and then I'm second a writer. And when I'm writing, I don't write always technically grammatically correct because I'm actually trying to write in a way that I might say it, which is a whole different form. But I try to blend it because if I wrote exactly how I talked, it would not be readable and it would not be fun to read. So I don't follow all the grammar rules, though I could use help. But for some reason, when it's his suggestions,
it's a different thing.
I don't like them. So
that's funny. Send help.
I actually would love to have an editor. So if you know someone who loves to edit, who's not John, let me know. I love you. Okay, another super fun question we get, John especially gets, are we getting divorced?
No. Simple as that. I don't know. I mean, it's just we get that a lot. I don't know. I guess, I don't know. Whatever people's experiences are, where in a marriage, somebody comes out in the relationship, and that obviously has different and significant impacts for different marriages. But for us, we're staying married. So sorry about you, all you single people out there.
And you made a good point, when we were talking about this earlier, of you said something along the lines of the risk isn't any greater or lesser than when before it came out. Yeah. And I think kind of what we already hit on already is that it's just, if anything has changed, it's the increase in our communication and the increase in our honesty, which can only benefit relationships. So yeah. I think maybe even a more common question, or a question people think but maybe are afraid to ask, is, are you concerned I'm going to cheat on you?
No. And yeah, just the thing that I come up with is what Nicole just shared, is that there's really no increased risk or whatever by her being queer, more than there would be in a straight or hetero marriage or relationship. It is what it is. I mean, there's risk either way, right? But it's not greater or less than. I mean, it just is. And then also I kind of jokingly would say, where am I going to find the time and energy and and just the ability to change your schedule. So you're doing this thing on the side and then you're maintaining, I don't have any time or energy to do any of that, between kids and work and maintaining our relationship. That takes all of my time, So anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, he always joke when do I have time or energy to cheat on you, Nicole, or vice versa. When we're talking about our lives are so full in such a good way.
Yeah.
Doing meaningful things and having a family and working full time, and so
it's our life is very, very full. It's there's no time for anything like that. So.
Yeah, and he kind of touched on the idea too. I think he gets this question a lot, or people have this question a lot because there's this myth, right, that queer people are hypersexual. Like, we can't restrain ourselves, and like, especially if you're bi or if you're pan, you want to have sex with everyone who walks down the sidewalk. Like, this is kind of the idea that people have, maybe not explicitly, but I know, like, when I came out publicly and when other bi or pan friends of mine came out, one of the first thoughts that my girlfriends or other girlfriends would have is like, oh my gosh, has Nicole had a crush on me? And it's like, oh my word, like,
Oh, really?
oh yeah. And it's like, I could say so many sarcastic comments, but it's just this idea of like, if Nicole's bi or pan, or if someone's bi or pan or queer, that means they like everyone, they can't control their hormones, blah, blah. And I have to be really careful here, because I know people who are poly, and that it's just a messy topic, because I want the myth of queer people being hypersexual to die, in the sense that like, we can't control ourselves, all we do is cheat and divorce. Like, that's a concept that's not okay, and like, people have really put that on us, and we have to talk through a lot when people say comments to John, or mostly to John, and then he brings it home when we talk it through, and like, do we respond to that person? But also like, knowing that every couple is different, which actually leads us into our next question, which is don't mixed orientation marriages, which is what this is, right? Queer and straight in a marriage. Don't mixed orientation marriages not work out in the end?
Ours is working out great. So what?
He's so short,
Deal with it.
so short and sweet with his answers. When we were practicing beforehand, he was giving like one-worded answers. I'm like, babe, that's great. But
What else?
people want to hear more than that. No, it's good. And this is the idea that every couple is different. And as soon as you make a generalization like that, like, oh, mixed orientation marriages don't work out in the end, it's just like, really? There's not one different story out of that narrative you're creating? Like, that's just not fair to all the couples involved. Just as there are couples who are divorcing, there are couples who are staying together. And that's the same, like you were saying earlier, like in the straight world, right? Like, straight couples get divorced just as much
The majority of the time.
Yeah, the majority of the time.
Right.
And so like, so I would just say, like, when you meet someone who's in a mixed orientation marriage, I think instead of heaping all these generalizations on, giving them space and grace to be who they are, to let them figure out their own path, their own journey, their own decisions, their own relationship, because they're the adults, and we need to trust people that they know what they're doing, and for people to trust, like, whatever our relationship is going to look like, however our relationship is going to be, that's between us, and that's not between the world and us. Like, we have to decide that, and whatever it is we decide is what we decide. It doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter what statistics say. Like, it's such a personal thing.
None ya.
Oh my gosh.
Like, that can be summed up. None ya.
Oh man, my kids have such a cool dad. Okay, so then we'll wrap this up with the big question of like, why? Why are we creating this video? What are some of your thoughts why we're making this video?
I think there's a lot more mixed orientation marriages out there than people are comfortable sharing. And there's a variety of reasons why people aren't out or are out, like us. So, yeah, that's kind of why, just to kind of demystify it to a large degree. Like, hey, this is like, maybe if you're watching this and you know us, like, we still have the same like normal struggles that everyone else has, like who's going to get groceries, who's going to change this diaper because it's disgusting, who's going to fold this mountain of laundry, like all this stuff, who's going to shovel. It's usually me shoveling. So it's, I don't know, it's a really, I don't know.
I did shovel one time this winter.
The kids kind of help. They don't help. They actually
just kind of throw it around.
they do it. Yeah, they make it a little worse.
You think it's fun.
That's cute. Yeah, I don't know. What would you add to that?
Yeah,
that's all
I think
got.
it's good. It's really common. I'm part of a Facebook group of queer women who are in a marriage with a cisgender heterosexual man, and there's over 200 of us, and it was like, I mean, it became 200 people like that. It was so fast, and there's more people that want to be added than we can have at this point. Like, and it's just encouraging to see, like, oh my gosh, like, this is so common. And I know of mixed orientation couples who aren't out publicly, and so really there are more of us than statistics can tell, than my Facebook group can tell. Like, It's so common, and I want us to be able to talk about it because when I realized this about myself, I felt very alone. I did not know one other couple that was like us. And now I realize there's hundreds, probably thousands, if not more like us. And that's so important to me to know for John that he's not alone in this. I'm not alone in this. You're not alone in this. And we're pretty normal and awesome and dorky. So I think, we want to kind of demystify and kind of normalize it. People have joked, people who've not met John, but hear how highly I talk to him, are like, is John a mythical creature? Like,
I am.
True. Where is he?
You can't see the bottom half of me, but the other half is a horse. So, what is that called? A centaur?
You would know that more than I would. I have no
yeah.
idea.
So, it's got wings. The rest of my body.
So that's another
I don't know.
reason.
What does that make us then? We're not really like. Okay, I'm not going to go there.
We're not normal.
Stop.
You'll have to tell us in the comments below what that makes us. So evidence that John exists. This is who he is. Mm-hmm. He makes me laugh so much, which is great because I'm so serious.
So serious.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
What else you got?
I think that's mostly it. So there you go. Some common questions. If you have more questions, John is more than thrilled to tackle a round 2.
Wow.
That was your suggestion earlier today. Don't even act like it wasn't.
Go easy. Go easy on these questions, okay?
Yeah, go easy.
If I'm not going to answer, I'm just not going to answer them.
That's true. You do get the ultimate decision.
That's right.
So, like you always do in our marriage. No, I'm just kidding. We're very equal. Okay, that's it. Hope this was helpful. I hope it was fun. I loved it. Did you love it? He's funny. When I do my videos, sometimes I practice ahead of time with my material before I'm recording, and John just throws in these one-liners, and I'm always like, babe, we need to do a video together. You're so funny. And he doesn't. So I'm so glad he finally agreed to do this one, and maybe we'll see more of John. So if you enjoyed this and you'd like to see more of John in the video, comment below, and I'll let him know that we should make more videos together. All right. Thanks, love.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Bye, guys.
Bye.